And I know that a couple of you on here didn't get to go. It was crazy. Like the amount of information that you get. I don't know if anybody checked it out from the live stream that was going. Kim, yeah. But it's like, it's just all this stuff thrown at you, all this excitement, and it was awesome. And it's like hard to describe it, but I know I tried to go live twice, and with all the coaches that were there, my connection kept cutting out because I guess they're all trying to do the same thing. But just like the feeling that you get being with everybody there, if you didn't go, definitely make it a point to be there next year. And I mean, I try to go every year. Of course, they change the dates. Next year is going to be the end of June instead of being in July like it has been the past few years, and in Indianapolis. So that'll be really fun. I heard a couple people when we were at Summit say like, oh, well, you know, what's an Indy? Like, that sucks. But the reason that you're there isn't really to go out and just like, you know, do all the cool things in wherever you are, although that's awesome. But you're really there to grow your business and help you become a better leader and really just learn more and how to be successful. So it seems like it's going to be awesome. Some of the hotels are booked already. That's crazy, but don't worry. The people cancel and you can still get rooms. So tickets are already on sale. And did anybody buy a ticket yet for next year? I know it's a couple of people on our team did. So definitely try to get your ticket now while they are a little bit cheaper. Obviously, there's a ton of information. A couple like bigger takeaway things like Daily Sunshine, which is basically a kid's Shakeology, but for kids. So they came out with a chocolate and a strawberry banana. And I know a bunch of people on our team, their kids have already tried it. I don't know if you saw Danielle's kids tried it today in their post. Well, the one said that the strawberry banana only tastes like strawberry. They don't really taste the banana in it. So it's really cute seeing all of the kids what they think of it and all their reviews online. And Carl's actually picking out a few different of the kids' reviews and posting them. So make sure that you just hashtag Daily Sunshine, and you know you can get in on that too. Let's see here. Okay, so if you didn't get to come to Summit, and like I said, there's like 100 million announcements from Summit, there is going to be a post-Summit surge on Wednesday at 8 p.m. that my man Carl's going to run. I love him. And he'll be just talking about all the different announcements that were made and his focus for the business and his goals for the next few weeks. There's going to be two coaches that will be on the call. The one is, if anybody went to the New Jersey Super Saturday in the summertime, Jessica Bowers Nelson, right? That's her last name. Yeah. Jessica Bauer Nelson. She spoke at our Super Saturday. She also was a presenter at Summit, and she will be on that call, as well as another coach who was one of the top teams in the Team Cup. So they will both be on the Surge call with Carl on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. That's Kim Fitzpatrick is the other coach. And they're just going to be talking about how they're going to build on everything that they learned at Summit and the momentum that they have. Like, because when you leave Summit, it's like you like have all these things going on in your head, and they're going to be talking about how and what they're going to do with that momentum that they have right now. So definitely be on, even if you weren't at Summit. Team Cup registration is open. You need a team of 5 people. They switched it up a little bit this year, which we talked about on last week's call, but you can have 2 diamond coaches on your team. It could be like a diamond coach and a 4-star coach or whatever. It used to always only be 1 diamond coach. So they changed that this time. Registration is already open. So get your team together and get ready for it. People that are on a cup team usually make I think it's like something like 60% more money than people who are not on a cup team. And the prizes are awesome. So there's like the first little prize is a blanket, that a Daily Sunshine blanket that's like folds down to a little bag. And then they have hoodies. They have sweatshirts for if everyone on your team hits Success Club, which is amazing. So the prizes are awesome. I know I don't want to be on a team that doesn't get a prize. So if you want to help your business out, you need to really get a team together. And it's fun. It really is fun. You know, you'll do like little daily challenges with your group and whatever. So make sure that you get a team together. Let's see what else here. Oh, Clean Week also came out, which is amazing because if anybody runs free groups, you are coming up with content like crazy. And like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So they've seen that we have been running free groups and they are put this one together for us with the trainer that won the 20s, the show that was on demand. And she basically leads it all. Your customers will be getting a Shakeology sampler pack to go with it. And it's all done for you. And they set it up really nice so that afterwards your challengers that are in your Clean Week will be able to become a customer of yours. So definitely something for you to get ready for. All right. Our call tonight is with Melissa Ludwig, who is on with us. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. Okay, so I checked out Melissa's Facebook page and she just went to Summit pregnant, and mad props to you because it was so hot and I can't even, it was like crazy. We had another pregnant mom on our team there and I just felt so bad because the sweat is just dripping and dripping and dripping. So good for you, girl. Melissa is a Success Club All-Star and actually was able on her own transformation journey to lose 110 pounds, which is absolutely amazing. But it just goes to show you, like I said, that this stuff works. So she's been coaching since January of 2015, right? Okay, and we are really, really excited to hear from her today. She's going to speak a little bit about how to seal a deal with challenge packs. So take it away, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you. So normally how I start these calls is I share a little bit about my journey because, you know, one thing that you should always be doing as a coach is collecting stories, collecting success stories to share. You know, when we talk about this opportunity, my sister sends my pictures every time she sells a challenge pack. Every single time she says, this is my sister. She's lost over 100 pounds. You know, because showing that the products work and that this actually works in changing lives. I mean, that's a big part of what we do. So, my life before Beachbody was just a hot fucking mess. Like there's no other way to put it. I know that you hear this probably all the time that I was so broken and, you know, it's true. I had, depression, anxiety. I'm a recovered alcoholic and I was still drinking then. And, you know, just absolutely zero self-confidence. My depression takes form in self-sabotage. So I was my own worst critic, like literally going out for my bachelorette party at the end of the night, of course, drunk, but I was crying because I wasn't pregnant. It didn't matter what I had in my life. I always wanted something else that someone else had. I was the person who scrolled Facebook comparing myself to everyone else on Facebook and their highlight reel. And I never measured up. You know, I wouldn't post pictures of myself because I didn't want people from high school to see how low I had gotten. And I wanted someone else's life. You know, I didn't love my life at all. And when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was on an uphill slope. I've struggled with weight my entire adult life. At 19, my best friend killed himself. I went into a psych ward, didn't handle it very well, lost my 2 front teeth, drunken escapade. And when I came home, I was heavily medicated. I had never been treated for my depression before this. And I was on 2 antidepressants and a mood stabilizer. And I have a heart the size of Texas. And I went from feeling everything to feeling nothing. And then I also gained 40 pounds in 4 months. So I started self-medicating with the meds. I started self-medicating with alcohol. And that was a hot mess that I barely survived called college. It got a little better when I met my husband. But even after a year of dating, I mean, anyone who meets my husband's like, he won Beachbody Husband of the Week at Summit, like brought a huge gallon jug of water to the super workout so that his baby mama could push her heart out and not have to worry about, you know, not having water or anything like that. He went around to seminar and just, he's amazing. And after we dated for a year, I broke up with him because I didn't think that I deserved someone that good. I had never been in a relationship that wasn't verbally abusive or fighting all the time. And I thought it was a bad relationship because we never fought. Like, I truly didn't think that I deserved good things in my life. And I used to think on the regular that my loved ones would be better off without me in their life. Like, I really came from a dark place. But I'm not that person anymore. Like, I don't even recognize that person. And it's because of Beachbody. So after I had my daughter, I weighed 233 pounds post C-section. And like I said, like, didn't recognize myself. I've wanted to be a mom for as long as I can remember, but I wasn't the mom that I wanted to be. I knew that at that rate, I'd never fit in a roller coaster. I'd never be able to go down the slide at a playground. I could barely carry up her car seat and diaper bag up the stairs. How was I going to chase her around the playground? So I reached out to my sister, who was a Beachbody coach, and she told me that I needed to get this workout and drink these shakes. And I told her I don't drink my food. And then I was on unpaid maternity leave. And my husband was in law school. So I was the sole breadwinner when I was off on my 12 weeks. I got my first challenge pack as a birthday present, split between my mom and my mother-in-law. I started with Strawberry Shakeology and T25, which I will say that I absolutely love BOD, the All Access Pass right now, because it truly allows clients to start wherever they need to be, because they get access to everything. They can start out with UV2. They can start out with Country Heat. They can start out with, whatever they want. But back when I started, coaches pushed whatever was just released. Like, whatever program just came out, that's what challenge pack you were pushing, right? Like, it was the sale. It was what was hot. And at that time, it was T25, and it was way too hard for me. I could only do 2 of the workouts at all. And I had to modify Tanya, who was the modifier. And I tried, and I would start and I'd quit, and I would start and I'd quit. And, I couldn't get out of my head. And then Sean's like, Tanya just had a baby, and Tanya had freaking abs. And I was like, no, I just had a baby. I don't look anything like Tanya. Like, what is wrong with you? And then I went to that place where I beat down on myself, and I took myself out of it. I did drink my shakes. I love them. I could make a meal in under 60 seconds, drink it with one hand, and nurse a new baby. And I was like sold. So, I continued to drink my shakes, and I continued to lose the weight, but my body wasn't changing because I wasn't working out. So even though I had lost like 50 pounds in 6 months, I looked exactly the same. And the 21-day fix came out, and it was the turning point in my journey, because I said to myself, like, I had bought everything. I have tried everything. Hydroxycut, I had a Thigh Master, I had this fitness disc. I mean, if there was an infomercial for something that said that, boom, skinny, I was buying it. Like, I bought into anything, and I never actually had anything that forced me to change or forced me to put in the work or create a lifestyle. I used to spend 2 hours at the gym, and I didn't have that kind of time as a mom. So I was like, all right, before you spend any more money, like, are you going to do this? Are you going to commit, or are you going to let yourself get in the way? Because you have 2 options right now. And I tell people, my clients, I tell them as part of my story, because if they haven't had that get really real with yourself moment, you're not going to succeed. You have to know why you're fighting for something that big. 100 pounds is not easy to do. And that's what I needed to do. So I was like, can you love yourself the way you are right now in the mirror? Can you love this person? Because your husband deserves someone more than who you are. Your husband does not deserve a wife who has to have the lights off and a shirt on. Your daughter deserves more than what you are. She does not deserve to have a mom who's going to call herself fat, and a mom who can't play with her, and a mom who puts herself down. Like, you can't be that mom. You can't be that wife. So if you can own who you are, I'm good. I will let you be that person. Like, I'll just be an overweight mom. My husband loves me. I have a lot to be thankful for in life. Or are you going to fight for it? And I decided to go for it. And it just was dumb luck that the 21-day fix was the first program that Beachbody put an overweight modifier on there, because I needed Kat. I needed her to the depths of my soul, needed her. I needed to see someone who didn't have abs and didn't have guns, who was doing it, because that meant that I could do it. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that was also a huge reason why I started coaching. I was a discount coach. My sister had asked me to be a coach, and I told her no, because I told her I was no one to inspire anyone, and I told her that I had nothing for myself. What would I have to give anyone else? And at that time, that was true. So I started doing the 21-day fix, and the containers completely changed my life. I love those. Obviously, you guys know. And then I went back to work after I had my daughter. It was absolutely awful. They couldn't fire me because of FMLA, so they treated me like shit, wanted me to quit. And I actually got unemployment for 2 or 3 months after I quit because it was deemed a hostile work environment. It was bad. And so I saved up every penny I could for 6 months, and I quit my job. My husband was graduating law school, still had to study for the bar, did not have any job in place. So I told him, all right, well, we have enough savings for like 6 to 9 months. I'm just going to spend this summer with Elsie, and then I'll look for something else. But I really didn't want to go back to work. I mean, I cried every day, and I told myself, I was considering going back to bartending or waitressing because I never wanted to work for someone who would put me down for their own benefit and, treat me like a number and a piece of shit, because that's all that I was to them. And I mean, I love my job. I told you I have the heart the size of Texas, and I put a lot of myself into that, and to be treated like that just wasn't worth it. And a month after I quit my job, I saw my sister at Summit. This is 4 years ago. The last year it was in Vegas, 2014. And I came from a job that, people talked about what other people weren't doing, and there was drama, and everybody hated everybody, and people were backstabbing for, promotions, and my assistant was sleeping with my boss. I mean, it was not a good work environment. And I saw my sister at this work event, and everyone was so fucking happy. I'm monitoring myself because I drop F-bombs like crazy. So I'm trying to just bleep myself out there. But everybody was so happy. And I was like, what do these people have to be so happy about? They're in Vegas and they're sober. Like, I don't get it. And so I sent her a message, and I was like, all right, tell me more. Like, what would I have to do? Because I want that. And she said, well, you got to buy a ticket to Summit next year. No income, absolutely no income at this point. I'm like, okay. So did that. And then she told me I had to share my journey. And I was like, well, can I just wait until I get, to like my goal or something? Like, I'm still big. I don't have any muscles, no abs. Like, I'm still modifying the modifier. Like, I'm no one to be like, hey, watch me work out. I suck at it. Right. And my sister was like, do you remember how much you needed Kat? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, people out there don't have Kat, but they have you. You need to be their Kat. You need to show them what it's like to go through it, to take those steps, to be an average person in the weight loss journey, and show that. And I was like, oh. First transformation I post, I like almost threw up, and I'm not a puker. I cried the whole way, the whole drive from North Carolina back to Pittsburgh when I posted it. And then I cried for 3 days from the love and support that I received. And that was kind of, a turning point for me on how I looked at sharing my journey on Facebook. Of course, I was completely uncoachable at first, and I came from sales and marketing, and my little sister is my coach. So I was like, I don't need your training, your coach basics. I don't need these vital behaviors. Like, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. I'm good. Well, I didn't hit Success Club for like 8 months after that, 6 months after that, something like that, because I wasn't doing what you're supposed to do. I went to Super Friday, January 2016, or 2015, I'm sorry. And Carl came to town to announce Melanie Mitro's top coach. And he didn't talk about sales. He didn't talk about recruiting. He didn't talk about anything that I'd ever heard in a business meeting before in my life. Talks about changing lives. And these women that I heard on stage, some of them started from a broken place, and they were living lives that, like, I said to myself, like, why not me? And I looked at my husband and I said, I'm going to be on that stage one day. Like, I'm going to be a success story. And I went home from that summit. I messaged 2 chicks in my team page, didn't know them at all. I just saw them posting in there. I asked them if they wanted to be my success partners, didn't even know what that was. Asked them to be on this thing called Team Cup next month, didn't even know what that was. Started applying the vital behaviors and doing the training. And in January, I hit Success Club 26. In February, Team Cup hit Success Club 36 and went diamond. I went diamond 4 weeks after that Super Friday. And we won the top tier of prizes in the Team Cup that month. And none of us, I was the only diamond on the team, and I went diamond in February. So it was just 5 coaches. So Team Cup is amazing. Get on a team and do it and apply yourself in it. And don't just be like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, go all in, set a goal. Set an income goal, a Success Club goal, a Lives Change goal, like a rank goal. I don't care. Just set goals and work your ass off for 1 month and see what you can do in this business. That January, my husband still wasn't working, still did not have a job. This is, let's see, I quit in my last month paid was May of the year before. So we're definitely into our 6 to 9 month mark, and the income was scary. And I was actually considering going back to like waitressing or bartending. And I told Mark, you know what, you're home right now. You watch Elsie. I'm going all in. I need to see if I can do this. And yes, I worked 8 hours a day at the computer. I was in my messenger 8 hours a day, but my income kept me home, and I've never gone back to work since. Mark did not find a job for 5 more months after that. And I did it. I carried my family with this business as a diamond. Like, you absolutely can do anything. And I'm not, that's just my story. But so then I continued on my journey and my weight loss and everything. And I hit a plateau. I was stuck in the 160s forever. And somebody was like, well, how many programs have you done? And I'm like, I do 21-day fix and pile. And they're like, how many rounds? And I'm like, I do 30 minutes a day. Like, what are you talking about? Because when I started, I couldn't do the schedule. I couldn't follow 225 schedule. I could only do 2 workouts. So somebody called me out on like not following the schedule and the program. And so I was like, well, what's the difference? I'm still exercising every day, because my life was just exercising in the gym every day, doing the same damn thing, right? That's how most people work out. But the truth is, I'm not a personal trainer. I don't know what workout should be in what order and everything like that. That's why they get paid the big bucks. That's why they're on the screen, and that's why it comes with the schedule. So I committed to 60 days of PIOs, my first program, start to finish. And I lost 11 pounds and 15 inches, and had a waist for the first time like ever, that I can remember. And submitted my results, and they're on PIO's websites, and I did an interview for an infomercial. So if you're not submitting your results, do that too. And in the middle of PIO, I was doing PD. I was doing Car Smart with Shalene Johnson. And in there, she says it several times. She's like, what is the one thing holding you back from the person who you want to be? And so every month I ask myself that question now, because that month it was my drinking. It was the one thing that I knew I couldn't share. It was the one thing that I knew was holding me back from the person who I really wanted to be. And I made the decision. I made the decision to quit drinking. I have not been to rehab, inpatient or outpatient, and I haven't been to a single AA meeting, because I know what AA is. I quit for a year in college, and I went to meetings with a friend. I know the steps and I know the process, but a lot of it is talking about everything you did in the past. And I didn't want to live in the past anymore. I had beat myself up for my past my entire life. I wanted to just become a better person going forward. And I've used BB as my AA, because AA is a group of people who support you and keep you sober and encourage you to be better. And they're there for you to talk about. And I've used my Facebook as accountability, almost like an AA meeting. If I struggle with something about my drinking, I put it on my page. I put it out there for others to see, and others out there that are sober or struggling, or commenting or sending me messages. And, one thing that Beachbody has taught me is that all of these things that I always hated about myself, I've known, maybe for 15 years that I was an alcoholic. I was always so ashamed to admit it. And, Beachbody has made me love that about myself. Instead of being ashamed about that, I own it and I love it. And I love that, everything in my life, everything that you've gone through in your life that has brought you pain, It has a purpose. And you have an opportunity to share that, how you made it through, how you survived, so someone else out there can do it. Because you know what? I was struggling in the darkness before Beachbody, and I'm no longer struggling in the darkness. And if anything, I try to use that darkness to shed a light for others out there still bumping around in the dark. And you have to think about your life that way. You know, all those things that I used to hate about myself, things that I thought that I would take to the grave, they're my strengths. They're my gifts. They're the way that I help and inspire people. You know, you've got to get good at sharing your struggles. People that need your help are in the struggle phase of their life. So if all you're doing is sharing your successes, you're not meeting them where they are. Don't be everyone else's highlight reel on social media. You know, so many times I get messages after this call, like, I have fibromyalgia. Well, do you know how many other people out there are struggling with it too? Only they don't have this community and support. And you can be that channel for them, or that support for them, or that guidance for them, or show them, you know, that someone can do it. So I went on, and in December of 2015, I was down 95 pounds, and I actually gave up that 100-pound loss mark, and my husband and I got pregnant. You know, one of my big whys the whole time was that I wanted a better pregnancy. I was in so much pain with Elsie, like so much pain. I saw a chiropractor every single day. I had back and hip pain. I wasn't allowed to work out. All I could do was walk and swim. My sciatic hurt. I hated everything about being pregnant, including gaining the 75 pounds. I didn't want that again. I wanted more kids, but I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to be one of those cute pregnant women. I wanted to be one of those people who loved their body and missed their belly, because I didn't miss a single thing about being pregnant. And then a week after we found out we were pregnant, we were in a car accident, and I went into a windshield and I broke my neck. And I was actually relieved when they told me that I was no longer pregnant, because that's not the kind of pregnancy that I fought so hard for. And I've struggled with pain since that day. It's been over 1.5 years. I still get injections in my back every 6 weeks. I have had PT, I get acupuncture, and I've just been labeled chronic pain, because I am doing everything to minimize my pain, and I still have it on a regular basis. So, you know, it's kind of a sick joke that I did everything that I had to do, and I did everything the right way to have a less painful life. And now my life is pain. But I'll tell you that, you know, even just being at Summit, 17 weeks pregnant, in that heat, in those long days, I was in less pain, and I had less things going on for me than I did 17 weeks pregnant with Elsie. And that's with chronic back pain after an accident. Like, I never thought that I would get here, let alone after what I went through. And after the accident, it was hard. I didn't know how I was going to be a coach, because I couldn't work out for 3 months. I did cry when they told me that, because that's how I was dealing with my depression, my alcoholism, my anxiety, and that's how I ran my business. I actually hit my 100-pound loss mark while I wasn't even cleared to work out yet, after having that neck brace on, which was all Shakeology and containers. I have videos of me doing the band walks from 21 Day Fix Extreme with a hard neck brace on, because you can move your legs even if your neck is broken. You know, I told anyone who would listen that exercise is a privilege and not a punishment, because there are people out there who truly can't. There are people out there who can't, and there are people out there who won't. And so we need to tell the people out there who can that it's a privilege and not a punishment. It's a privilege to be able to push your body and, you know, be stronger and do those things. And so I look at exercise differently. It took me 6 months before I could work out 5 days in a row. It took me 11 months before I could complete a program after the accident. It was not an easy recovery, and I shared it all. I had to take narcotics for months, being sober less than a year. That was hard. There are things that were hard. There were days that I didn't want to post. There were days that I didn't want to help anybody. But I knew that I had two choices. I had to choose my heart. It was going to be hard to push forward, or I could go back to living my heart. And that hard before Beachbody is something that I will never go back to. It doesn't matter how hard it gets. I don't want to live that hard one more day in my life, because this hard that we're doing here, this gets easier. This gets easier. It has happiness and confidence and community and support at the end of the tunnel. But the hard before this, Probably didn't have that. Mine didn't. So, you know, life is going to smack you down. Life is going to get in your way as a coach. But all I can tell you is that when things get hard in your life, dive into the business and not away from it. This business has gotten me through things in my life that I didn't think that I would get through. I'm stronger than I ever thought I was. You know, I have over 2 years sober. And, you know, like on the cruise, I had a complete anxiety attack and meltdown the first day. I was FaceTiming my dad, completely hysterical, because I found myself in an elite party where nobody knew who I was. And they were handing out beer and wine, and I couldn't turn down another drink. I couldn't find my husband. I didn't have a room key. Like, so I FaceTimed my dad. And then, you know what? When I got home from the cruise, I talked about it. I talked about the fact that I struggled and that I reached out for help, and that, yes, it sucks to have to need help, but asking for help is so much stronger than struggling on your own. I share these things. I put a positive light onto everything that I go through and I share, and it forces you to put a positive spin on every shitty thing happening in your life. And that is an amazing thing to have, right? Okay. So, that's a little about that. That's a little about me, and it totally can crush the super workout at Summit, which was a dream come true. You know, 17 weeks pregnant, and modified less than I modified before I got pregnant. You know, one thing that I told myself is I don't care what weight I gain, but I know that for the sake of my back, however much I gain, I need to be stronger than that. So I've even started pushing myself in my workouts. Of course, you know, I don't recommend starting that way, but I was already healthy and doing these things before the pregnancy. So a couple things that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to go into share screen. So this is probably, I guess, at my best, because now I got a big old bump. But this picture right here, this is 95% modification. I was still modifying 95% of my workouts when I went into that windshield. And then you better believe that year after was all modification. This is following the modifiers. That's how fucking amazing our programs are, guys. Like, seriously, I'm not even joking, right? And I wouldn't even look at the camera in my before picture. I didn't even see that picture for 6 months. I mean, I couldn't even look at myself. Next thing is, whoops, crap, that was my marketing plan. Well, I'll share that with you guys, but I'll go through the Power Hour tracker first. All right, so I really love to share my Power Hour tracker, although I really do like, and Rose can get it for you, but Melissa McAllister just shared her Win the Week, which I do really like, as a weekly tracker. This is my daily tracker that I use. So I get up every morning and I do a Power Hour. And I like that it has all the stuff over here broken up in times for an hour. Like, set your alarm, do an hour and get it done. You can work this business in 2 hours a day. 1 hour for your Power Hour, half an hour for your workout, half an hour of personal development. Like, minimum 2 hours. It doesn't even have to be all at one time, and you can work this business. Consistency is the key. So I also like that it has your vital behaviors over there. Brain dump is my to-do list for the day because I like to have everything all in one place. So I add 3 to 4 people a day. On Facebook, I actually write down 8 names because there are 4 lines. So I write down 2 for each thing. I don't do the suggested friends on Facebook because a lot of times they're friends of coaches or coaches on my team, people I don't know, or friends of challengers who I want to be coaches down the road. I just don't mess with that. I get into groups of my target market. So mom groups, I add my friends from mom groups. I advise you to get into groups on Facebook of your target market and add friends from there and interact in those groups, because then those people are already your target market. Right? So my Hey Girls, my Yo Bros every morning come from the people who like my post the day before. So every morning when I do my Power Hour, I scroll down through my page on the last, on yesterday. And this is also a great time to like reevaluate your Facebook from the day before. Did you post about Beachbody? Did you post about your health and fitness? Did you post? You know, so you're reevaluating your day before, but I pick a Beachbody post. And then I message the people who sent me, I message the people who simply liked it. If you're not messaging the people who are liking your post, you are missing out on the people who are already interested in what you're doing. Instead of sending those cold Hey Girls that have nothing to do with anything, they've never seen your page, you know, maybe ever, you're sending Hey Girls to people who like your shit, people who are already wanting to get on your bus, but they're not commenting or they're not sending you messages. They're just liking it, secretly stalking you for years, right? And yes, I've gotten those messages. So my hey girls are just like, hey girl, thanks for the love. It's always appreciated. And then I ask a question, either regarding to the post or regarding to something on their Facebook page. And that's my hey girl. And then sometimes I get this like long message back to be like, oh no, thank you. Your page is so inspirational. I've been watching you for years. And the first thing I think of is, took you years to message this person? Come on, Melissa, what have you been doing? So since I started messaging the people who like my posts and stuff, that's been really helpful. So if you're ever looking at people to talk to, start going through the people who are already liking your stuff. And then it has your follow-ups, your challenge invites, your coach invites, your social media posts 2 to 4 times a day. I know I talk fast, but I'm trying to just get this all in there for you. And I do believe this is recorded. So, okay. So the 2 to 4 posts a day on social media. I really like this posting schedule also because it makes it really easy for new coaches. I used to tell my new coaches, okay, give me a list of like 15 things about you. What do you like? Here's the thing. Baby coaches don't know who they are yet. That's what we do here. You find yourself, right? You find your voice. But before you have your voice, here's a good guide. So 2 lifestyle posts every day. That's my baby's so cute. There's shit all over the walls. I went to Target. Any of those things, right? 1 health and fitness post a day, 1 inspirational and motivational post a day. It's your 4 posts a day minimum. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do a story share. Your story share needs to be 3 parts. It needs to be what part of your life, not your entire story, breadcrumbs. You're doing this every Tuesday, Thursday. Don't worry, there are a lot of those in the year. You have plenty of time to tell your entire story. So just pick a piece of it. What did it look like before Beachbody? What part of Beachbody helped or changed that for you? And what does it look like now? I always recommend some kind of before and after. It's you sad, you smiling. My first transformation, my first story share after I quit drinking went from a blue moon to a Shakeology. And that was my transformation Tuesday. So get creative. Doesn't have to be constant before and after of your physical progress. Talk about the other stuff. Stuff that other people want to work on, right? Every Wednesday night, you do a challenge group call to action post, and every Sunday night, a coach call to action post, and that is your posting schedule for the week. And then at the bottom, you invite 3 people from Instagram for 531. And let me see if I can pull up my marketing plan real quick, and I'll talk about the way that I plan out my month. So we do the same thing every month. The first Monday of every month starts our 5-day free group and our coach university, 30-day coach training. Now, you guys, I'm not saying that you have to change around your whole team or anything you do. And this pregnancy kind of has me off guard. And unfortunately, this is the last marketing plan that I made, but I am already making one for August. So I'm ahead of the game on August, right? No one has to be perfect to work this business. Hashtag hot mess over here. So I had a 5-day pizza goal group, which was great. We did 5 days of healthy pizza, put together a menu and a shopping list. People absolutely loved it. The month before this, I did 5 days, 5 ways to save. So I talk about, different ways that I save money, budgeting, paying off bills, like debt, right? Like had absolutely nothing to do with coaching or health and fitness, but saving people money means they have more money to do what they want to do, like join me, right? And just that's something that I like to do. So first Monday, coach training and a 5-day free group. The 3rd Monday of every month, that Sizzle into Summer, that was my challenge group that started. So you can see that I have the first 2 weeks of the month are for daily jabs of challenge group. I do that so I always know what I'm jabbing for, what I'm inviting to, because how many times have you had a group start on Monday and you're like, I have a clean eating group on Monday, I haven't posted about it, haven't invited a single person, great. Still have to run this, right? So this way you always know what's going on. So you can even see my call to actions in there. And my last call challenge group post. And then the 2nd Sunday of every month, we do a challenge group event. We've now turned that into a group, but we still go live in there, on those times. And then the 4th Sunday is my business opportunity event because my coach training group starts the next month. So the last 2 weeks of the month are daily jabs for coaching. And then that last week of the month is daily jabs about my free group the next month. And in June, it was Taco Bell goals. And we did 5 days of healthy tacos. So I like that because it even gives coaches in the beginning of the month, starting the training, 2 weeks to invite people to challenge groups. But whatever your schedule looks like, make a marketing plan. I am not tech savvy. This takes me 15 minutes tops in PicMonkey. And I started doing this because Melanie Mitro has a marketing plan that she follows every month. And I'm telling you, like, just having this up every day, have it on your desktop, print it out, like have it on, background on your phone, whatever. But then you know what you're inviting to. Then you know what you're jabbing about. You know what's coming up next, and what you should be preparing for. And you're not just throwing invites and throwing stuff out there random and blind and never having a plan. The last thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about, and then I can send any of this stuff to Rose too, is, oh wow, I'm actually doing pretty well. Normally this takes me like over an hour for these calls, but I'm rolling. Sorry, I must be talking really, really fast. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is my script and forming, because I get a lot of coaches that are like, oh, I'm getting a lot of no's, I'm getting a lot of objections. And I think that they're just not asking enough questions or the right questions. So I share this and I call it a script because I don't copy and paste this to messages, but it's a good guideline to make sure that you're asking the necessary questions, and just kind of gives you a place to go and restrict yourself so you don't word vomit all over people, and they're like, tell me a little bit more about this Shakeology. And you're like, well, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's got all these superfoods and all this and this, and it does that, and people are like, crickets. And then they block you. And that happens. That's word vomit. So if someone shows interest on one of my Beachbody posts and I'm reaching out to them, so like a challenge group post or something like that, my form is a little bit specific. So my family questions are like, how many people do you have in your house? Who does the cooking? How many meals do you eat out a week? What is your grocery budget? Like, do you have any picky eaters? Right? And then I always ask, what's your favorite family meal? If your family refused to give up one meal, what would that be? Because later I'm going to try to give them a healthy recipe for that. I'm going to show them that they don't have to give up everything they want, even as a family, right? Occupation, I ask them, what do you do? Do you sit at a desk all day? Are you active? Do you have a fridge? Access to snacks? Do you get lunches? Do you get breaks? Can you take your food? Do you work midnights? Do you work 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Do you like your job? Because again, thinking about coaching, I really try to lead with the business opportunity and then fall back on the challenge groups. Because if you talk about the challenge groups and the programs and they're like, no thanks, don't want to have anything to do with that, you can't really go into coaching from there. Well, these products that you hate and don't want to try, do you want to sell them? And not that that's how I talk about coaching, but still there's really nowhere to go from there. But so recreation, I ask them if there's any activity that they've ever done that they enjoyed doing. Start with what they like. BOD has something for everyone, so ask if there's ever been anything that they like doing, because someone who freaking hates burpees isn't going to do burpees every day, right? No. And then my message is clear. Guys, the whole point of forming is not just another process. It's not just another step. It is your way to find out this person's pain points. What in their life do they want to change? And what is causing them pain? And do you have something that can fix that? What is your message? Like, what can you help them with? Is there something in their life that this opportunity can help them with? And what part of the opportunity? Is it the business part? Is it the challenge groups? What is it? And then at that point, I say, well, it sounds like the all access pass would be pretty perfect for you, but I have a few more questions just to be sure. Is that cool? And I ask their permission, like, can I ask you questions? I know it sounds dumb, but little marketing tip, the more you get people to say yes, the more likely they are to say yes. And it's never a bad thing to just ask permission if it's okay if you poke a little more, and prod a little more. And because people are reluctant to talk about some of these things. So then I ask them if they're following if any kind of fitness or nutrition plan. Then I ask them, okay, so which would you say that you struggle with the most? The fitness side or the nutrition side? And then no matter what their answer is, I ask them, What is it that you struggle with about that? Is it the prep? Is it the planning? Is it the knowledge? Is it the motivation? Is it the time? What is it? Where is your struggle, right? Then I asked them if there's a goal that they would like to achieve in the first month of the challenge group. Maybe a dress size or an outfit in your closet that you haven't felt comfortable in a while. I tend to attract people that have like a significant amount of weight to lose, and for them to tell me that they want to lose 100 pounds. Let me tell you, when I wanted to lose 100 pounds, you know what I would have told my coach? 5 pounds isn't 100. And 5 pounds is a big deal. So I don't want to focus on that whole picture. I want to focus on something that we can actually maybe achieve in that first month. Then I asked him, okay, so what would it mean to you if you could, get into those size medium scrubs and feel confident to them, or go to your brother's wedding next month and, feel confident, all while gaining a better relationship with your health? And at this point, I know this person pretty well. Most of the time they tell me everything. And I tell them, okay, so here's what I can hook you up with. I can hook you up with the Netflix of fitness. So everything, including modifiers, cooking shows, kids programs, all that stuff. Anything exercise related, we got you covered. Then you're going to get a nutrition plan that actually teaches you how to eat. I'm not going to give you 30 meals that you need to make a month. I'm not going to tell you you have to buy all kinds of random ingredients that you will never freaking use. Like, you get to pick your food. You pick your food of the different food groups. You don't even have to cut out any food groups. You cook it, you measure it, you eat it. So this is great for that picky eater. This is great for, families. And then you're going to get a shaker mug, which is great for meals on the go, because you told me that the concession stand is your weakness during baseball season. So now you take a shake with you on the way to the baseball stand, and you can avoid the concession stands altogether. You're going to get 30 meals of Shakeology. I don't say a month. I don't say a bag. I say 30 meals of Shakeology, replacing a meal that you're already eating and paying for. You said you eat out about 5 times a week with work. Let me tell you, you're going to spend like half the money, if not less. Doing this, and the meal is going to be better. You're not going to get that afternoon slump. And your body is definitely going to start responding. So you're going to get all that. You're going to get access to my private accountability groups. You're going to get a chance to win $500. You're going to get a t-shirt for every program you complete, and you're going to get me as your coach. I've been through every step of this process, and I'm here to help you all along the way. You get all of that. Oh, and 12 months of the online workouts. And I used to say that you get a 10% discount which was like saved you $150, but I wouldn't even mention the discount because it's going away in September. So just let that be a bonus for the next 2 months. And I wouldn't really mention that. Or you can say a 10% discount until September, but I say you get all of that for just $160. It's the deal of a lifetime and the best way to get started. So are you in? And most of the time, I don't get a lot of no's because I've created the value. I've talked to them. I've told them how this is going to fit in their life, how this is going to help them, how it's going to replace some of their weaknesses and struggles, and how I'm going to be there every step of the way. And then I also send my pictures with that. And I tell them that I've lost over 100 pounds doing it this way. I've kept it off, and I've completely changed my life. So I know what I'm talking about. I didn't know what I'm talking about. All I do is do what I'm told, and you're getting all the same tools that I got. Only you have me, right? And then I can even go further and say Shakeology comes down to about $4 a day. It's cheaper than a Happy Meal or Starbucks. It's a hell of a lot better for you. People don't have a problem going in and dropping $6 at Starbucks because they don't buy 30 Starbucks at a time. It's the price shock. A Lincoln and a Ford Focus are going to get you to the same place, but people pay more for the Lincoln for the value. You have to create the value. Don't give away Shakeology for free. Don't discount the value of what you have. I'm telling you, I would have paid 1,000 times the amount that I paid for what I've gotten. Absolutely. You are offering a different life, a better way of life. And when you're hesitant or feel creepy or icky about inviting people to your challenge groups, I want you to remember that there are more Melissas out there who haven't found us and who are still struggling. And if you were struggling with something before Beachbody, there are yous out there who need you. And all you're doing is asking and offering, right? So at this point, I get a yes. And this is where most coaches stop and they're like, okay, let me give you that link, right? I'm telling you just to ask a couple more questions. So then I'm like, all right, so I just have a few more questions and we can get started. What flavor of Shakeology do you want to start with? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Now they're comparing Shakeology to ice cream, and that's just a win for everybody, right? Then I ask them, okay, so today you can actually add on a 3-day cleanse to your kit for just $45. Normally it's $70. If you've never done a cleanse before, it's a great way to jumpstart into a clean eating program. It's a good way to cook caffeine addiction or kick caffeine addiction or sugar cravings. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. You're going to lose inches on your waist. And not to mention, you're probably going to lose 3 to 8 pounds in your first 3 days. And didn't you tell me the reason why you always quit is because you don't see results fast enough? And then I show them my results of my last couple cleanses that I've done. So if you haven't done a cleanse, do a cleanse. And if you are waiting to do a cleanse for whatever reason, like you're pregnant too, get results from someone else who has done a cleanse and share that. And about 3 out of 4 people are like, yeah, sure, add the cleanse on. Like, I have yet to have anybody that's like, whoa, $45 more. This is a scam. I don't want any of it. Like, people aren't going to talk themselves out of a challenge pack because you asked them a question. And as a coach, you're giving them an extra tool in their toolbox. How amazing would it be if you could start every client off with losing 5 to 7 pounds in the first week? Right? Give them a quick win. Society is all about instant gratification. Give them something that's actually going to start them off with a win in their belt. It's another toolbox in their box. It's another tool in their toolbox. I can't speak. And even for those that don't start with the Kickstart, oftentimes like a few months in, they'll be like, I have a wedding coming up. Tell me about that cleanse. Because once you have the bought all access, you don't hound them about another challenge pack, and you might not even be offering them the cleanse, or they might not even know we have a cleanse. And I tell them they get to eat real solid food 4 times a day and a shake with every meal, and you will not shake your brains out. Like, those are the things that I actually legit tell people, because that's what people are concerned about with the cleanse. I'm like, it's 3 days. You get real solid food 4 times a day, shake with every meal. You'll pee more, but as for number 2, should stay exactly the same. Then I do the mobile enrollment app because it's so much easier than dealing with the links. But just think about what it could do for your business, your volume, and your downline if all of your coaches started selling Kickstart challenge packs. 1 Kickstart challenge pack is $70 commission. 2 of those, and they've earned back their initial buy-in if they're a new coach. And if not, you've paid for your Shakeology plus a business fee plus a profit on 2 lives changed. And it's more volume in your downline too. So I think that's all I have for you guys. Do you have any questions?
I do. Are most of your communication all through Facebook Messenger, or are you doing this through email?
I am practically 100% Facebook Messenger. And when I can, I do a voice message. Because, I mean, you guys hear it, my voice, I have passion when I talk about this. So I want them to hear that, you know, I want them to get to know me. So when I can, I send a voice message so that they can hear that I'm behind them before they even start. And, you know, I also want to throw in there that I really want you guys to be authentically you on Facebook. I know you hear this all the time, but I was really afraid to swear on Facebook because I saw like people in my newsfeed that were like, just for the record, if you're dropping F-bombs on here, I'm going to unfriend you. And I was like, people are going to unfriend me. And then I was like, Melissa, they're going to get in your challenge groups, or they're going to get in your coach groups. You're going to drop F-bombs like Gary Vee, and they're going to be like, who is this chick, right? So you need to be you so you attract people like you from the start. And that starts with sending voice messages in Voice Messenger and letting them get to know you so that they will trust you and put their lives in your hand. Anybody else? Any other questions?
I like how when you said that when things get hard in your life, instead of like going away from them, like dive into your business instead of going away from your business. What's something that you can, like, how do you psych yourself up to do that? Because it's hard, you know, like when
it is. And I tell myself 2 options. I'm like, all right, so you could spend all day having a pity party for yourself and feel worse. or you could help someone today. You could make a difference in someone's life, and that makes getting the news of a family member with cancer a little bit easier. You know, having a purpose in your day, because I mean, stuff is going to suck. And I give myself time and opportunities, but I'll tell you, the day that I had to put my 17-year-old cat down, the day that I had to put her down, and the day after I had to put her down, I was up at a 7 a.m. power hour because I knew that crying all day wasn't going to bring Lexus back, but I could have something else positive to focus on, because my brain will go to that place where I will stew and stew and stew. And so it's one thing that allows me to kind of get out of that funk, and to just push forward and to think that, you know, that I could help someone that day, and that would make that day worth it, because laying on the couch crying all day isn't truly going to make me feel better. You know, or I dive into the PD or, you know, something like that. Like for 3 days, all I did was post about my cat, but I still posted on Facebook. I did the minimum. All I did was my power hour, but I still did my power hour. You know, I have 2 minimum things that I do every day. I post on social media and I do my power hour. And I promised myself in my pregnancy that if I could work out, I would. And I've shared that because in the first trimester, it was a battle. If it wasn't for Energized and UB2, I probably wouldn't have worked out. But I did, because I told myself, like, you've been there before. Like, if you can, you know, you must. And, you know, that if you're an established coach or you've been posting for a while, like, people depend on you, and they need to see that when life gets tough, you still want to fight for it. You know, they need to see that life does get tough and life does suck. And I've talked about, you know, like, it's hard. I don't want to get out of bed and help other people. I don't want to get out of bed and talk to other people about their problems when all I can focus on is mine, but it helps me take it off of me. My life was about me for 30 years, and it wasn't good. So, you know, being able to put my life about someone else, even when mine is hanging in the midst of the shadow, it's been helpful for me and my depression.
This is an awesome call, and I really appreciate you coming on after Summit, after our minds are already blown. You blow our minds a little bit more, and I really love the part towards the end where you really just dig into those questions, because I think especially new coaches, you're scared to ask more questions. You're like, all right, let me ask 3 questions and I'm good. Like, I don't want to bother them. But that's what we do as coaches. Like, we're not called distributors. We're not called salespeople. We're called coaches for a reason. And the more questions you ask, and I love that you said, and I say this too, do you mind if I ask you some questions? Bam, right? Get people to say yes. And that's going to show them what you do, right? Like, if you're digging in deep, if you're coaching them through this process, then they're going to know and trust that you're going to have their back once they did decide that they're going to go in this with you. So hopefully everybody wrote down all those questions. If not, I did read
I will send them to you. I actually have it all in an Evernote. Like, the last message with the price is like, you know, has some extra weird things in there or whatever. It's not 100%, but like I said, it's a guideline. It has all the questions in there and most of the information. So I will send that script to you just so people can like save it in Evernote or whatever.
Cool. And then there was something that when you were like sharing your screen, I think it might've been like your team page. Like, you had like all these, like, I don't know, like on your, on the team photo with like all these like questions and stuff. Not if it was like questions or like some sort of plan. It looked really cool.
This?
Yeah, that. Can you send me that?
Yeah, let me get it up.
I can just screenshot it now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Going once, going twice.
Yeah, I can send that too. I can send the Power Hour form.
Cool. Lots of goodies.
It has our team logo on it, but like, I just print it out in front and back and use it every day. I'm not a streak person. I wish I was, but technology and I, like, we just don't see eye to interface. I don't even know what the heck you call it. Like, so I keep mine, and then I just keep them in a 3-ring binder so I can go back through and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll send that to Rose as well.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for showing up after an amazing weekend. And we'll see you guys on the surge for tomorrow. Have a good night.